cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is For Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Freddie G, joined by my co-host, K Money, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Women Wednesday. Okay, fellas, I'm going in. Now, today's show applies to all genders, whether you're male, female, or trans. It applies to all genders. So with that being said, if you want a quick evaluation of yourself, take a look at your situation and circumstances. Your situation and circumstances can be broken down into many parts, right? However, I want to focus on the relationship status. Whether you're single, married, have a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. So, I'm sure y'all heard of the phrase, you are what you eat. Well, some people may say you are what you attract.
Mm-hmm.
So have y'all ever heard of the law of attraction? Y'all ever heard of that before?
Yeah,
The term I've heard of.
mm-hmm. Birds of a feather flock together. You know how they say that?
Okay, so according to the law of attraction, what people focus on is what they attract in life.
Right.
Now, again, I want to focus on the relationship aspect of it, but when you look at your situations and circumstances as a whole, you could break all of that down into many different parts, man. In many different parts. So we're focusing on the relationship aspect of it. And a lot of times when it comes to relationships, you know, have you ever done an honest assessment of yourself in that relationship?
Yeah, I have, and I think it's important that you do, because sometimes, you know, we do things not necessarily, you know, if that makes sense. Some things we do and not, I guess we see it in a different way than other people do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think you have to kind of self-assess yourself, you know, in relationships majority of the time before you try to put blame on your spouse or the other person, you know.
I mean, I think it's part of maturity to self-evaluate yourself. But I mean, if things are going wrong, that's one of the first things I feel one should do, mm-hmm. is to figure out, you know, is it something I'm doing that's why we're in the situation we're in. Mm-hmm. You know, but people, like I say, I think that comes with maturity
and accountability also.
Exactly.
What about you, Comedian 96? Have you ever done a self-evaluation of yourself? Really looking at yourself in a relationship and being honest with yourself?
And it's usually after that, maybe an incident or maybe an argument occur, I will probably step back and say, let me assess the situation. Was it my fault? Was it really my fault? Like that. Normally, that's when I do it. I'll assess it. If I feel like it's my fault, I will go ahead and admit to it and say, you know what, ain't no use to us arguing that hard over this. I'll assess the situation and go ahead and just admit to fault, or vice versa.
So let me ask y'all, can you take a hard look at yourself and say to yourself, okay, the person I am today, you know, does that cause more harm than good in my life? The person that you are today, and think about relationship wise and your status, your current status.
It's definitely not harm.
Yeah, it's a mix. Because I gotta take some. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's definitely not harm, because I wouldn't harm, you know,
my own relationship. So no, I don't think it's harmful at all. Me.
Okay. What about you, Comedian 96? What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was saying it's a mix because I'll agree with Slash. I take that back. I'll definitely agree with Slash.
What are you agreeing with, man?
It's no harm. It won't do no harm.
I just wanted to ask you,
I just
brother.
said it was. I agree. I'm just trying to cut it short.
So I have a question for you guys, right? Have y'all ever been in a relationship with someone and you said to yourself, maybe not these exact words, but after a period of time, like, man, why am I even with her?
Yeah.
Or why am I even with him? Or why I'm even with that? Or whomever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even see what I saw in her or what I saw in him. Have you ever?
Not what I saw in him, but the other part was why did I
think
do
we
this?
all do that.
I think
Experience that moment.
That's situational. Again, it's just like I was saying earlier. It's situational. It's not every day you going. You could be happy. You don't think that. But if you're thinking that while you're happy, then something wrong. But normally it's situational when something happens.
Well, what I'm saying is like a relationship overall. You've been in this relationship. I know in relationships you have good days and bad days, right? Mm-hmm. And the key is to try to have more good days than bad days, right? But in this relationship, you ever reflect and be like, man, why am I even with her? Or for the female listeners, why am I even with him?
Oh, of course they've done it.
Yeah. And as men, sometimes we're like, man, we're gonna try to salvage it. We've been together this long. Why am I with her? But maybe I can make it work. Maybe we can fix it.
We're not talking about you salvaging. I'm just trying to
I'm
find
just
out.
saying,
Do you ever ask yourself,
right,
man,
right.
what the hell am I doing?
Well,
like you really want out?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You want out, but you look at the time in.
Okay.
And then you wait at it, like, I've been with this such and such for 12 years. I want out, but I haven't been with her. You lit that time.
So because of you being in a relationship for a long time is the reason why you continue to work it out when deep down inside you really
it
want
should
out.
end.
It's harming
Okay,
you.
but that's my point.
That's harming you.
It is.
So again, that's my point. You really want out. You're just suffering right now.
Right.
So that's why I was asking. Have you ever found yourself saying, "Why am I even with you?" Maybe not those exact words, but you really want out. You really want out, and for some reason, it's holding you back, and you continue to harm yourself and to continue to be in that relationship when you really want out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, K Money, you want to speak to that?
No, I agree. Not agree. I think I kind of forgot the question, but I know it had something to do with doing more harm than good.
Yeah. Well, no.
Who I
Have you
am
ever been in a
today.
relationship where you ask yourself,
that's
"What am I
right.
doing?"
Yeah, I feel we all have been in a situation like that or a moment like you said, and I think it happens more or less when we're having those bad days when we have that thought.
Okay, now that you guys have shared that with me, right? Let me ask y'all. I'm gonna go around this table. Let me ask y'all. Do you consider yourself, and just simple yes or no, starting with you, Comedian 96. Simple yes or no. Do you consider yourself a good person who loves yourself?
Yes.
Slash.
Yes.
K Money.
Yes.
All right. For myself, yes. Now, starting with you, Comedian 96, do you consider yourself simple yes or no? Are you a person with high principles and values?
Yes.
Slash.
Of course.
Yeah.
Same here. Okay. Now, I want you to think about the time where you've been in a relationship and you said to yourself, man, what the hell am I doing here? If you ever said that. And for our listeners, you participate and do this yourself too. If you answered yes to all of those questions that my fellas here answered yes to, then ask yourself, right? If you were that person then, and you're that person today, high values, love yourself, and high principles, why are you still attracting the wrong people? Because you're in a relationship that you're saying to yourself, what the hell am I doing here with that? What is it about you that's still attracting the wrong person? Because we got to start to hold ourselves accountable
That's where you have to hold yourself accountable.
for the people that you attract.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
Attracting these types of people. You know, and I feel like when you talk about it like that, I think it has a lot to do with the places you go, or where you hang out, or who you hang out with, the types of stuff that you do. You know, these types of things can get you into situations like that, you know.
Okay, let me share something with you. A possibility. I'm gonna share a possibility and tell me what you guys think, right? So, Comedian 96, you gave an example of a guy, not yourself. You gave an example of a guy in a lengthy relationship, 12 years if I'm not mistaken, a 12-year relationship that really wanted out. But because he put so much time in, he decided to stay there and suffer. And there are some women that are in relationships, put so much time in, they decide to stay there and suffer. Could it be that your inner fear and your negative mindset can play a significant role in determining who you are? Think about it. Some people won't take that next step because of fear.
Right.
Some people have a negative mindset on everything in a relationship.
Right.
And that causes you to attract these types of people. Remember I mentioned at the earlier part of the show, the law of attraction. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I follow that, definitely. It's definitely a vibe that people get when they meet that attracts them. So, I mean, normally it's something familiar about this person that attracts you to them, unless it's just a visual attraction.
And that's what we touched on previous shows. You know, it's the physical first. And I was gonna say earlier, you know, I felt like it takes time before you actually get to know who a person is or how they really are. Even with Comedian 96's example with the 12-year relationship. However, the way you just put it, Freddie G, you actually have me looking at it in a different perspective now. You know, as far as, you know, like you say, the law of attraction, I can kind of see that more so now, and believe more so in it, especially if it happens consistently. You know, you always hearing people say and well, you hear a lot of females anyway. I'm not trying to make it sound one-sided, but you don't really hear dudes talking about how they with the wrong female a lot. Right. But females, you know, you always hear I'm always attracting the same type of dudes, the ones that either this, that, or the other, and it could be, you know, that law of attraction as you're specifying, Freddie G. Okay,
Comedian 96, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think that it's got to do with how much you have invested in a relationship. And what I mean, especially with men, if you have a lot of time invested in a relationship, you're not looking to really part ways quickly. You want to salvage it, even though you be like, man, this girl, she's so throwed off.
Yeah, you kind of feel obligated.
We'll set it aside. We'll go ahead and set that aside because we know it's a bigger picture than her being retarded or her being this. And on the woman's side, they may set things aside. It could be financial, it could be physical, it could be emotional, whatever it is, because that part of that man, it satisfies whatever they're looking for, more than the fact that this relationship ain't gonna work. It's just something that's just much better than, I know it's not gonna work. I know I'm not supposed to be with you, but you do this so good that I'm gonna keep you around, and that's what happens.
So here's the thing, though. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I'm not just talking about sex. I mean, it could be anything. What it is. Yeah,
I get it. So, but take it to the beginning. That law of attraction, you got to ask yourself. Now you're sticking around for whatever reason, but but you're unhappy, whether you're the female or the male. You're unhappy in this relationship. Ask yourself, what was it that attracted you to him, or what was it that attracted you to her?
Right.
Now, if you're with a person right now that you don't want to be with, but you continue to stay with it, but you know you don't want to be with them, what was it that made you attract that person you don't want to be with today? What was it about that person that attracted you to them? That you don't want to be with them today? Well, what was the attraction? What was it that did it? Could it be a negative mindset? You can attract certain people based upon your mindset.
Right.
So that's what we're just trying to figure out in regards to the law of attraction. What is it that people keep attracting these so-called bad boys or these so-called thoughts or whatever you want to call them?
I think most of it is a physical thing, because appearance is what attracts most people, because that's what we see. You know,
Okay.
So the first thing come to your mind, of course, is the first thing you see. So physically, most of these attractions, stating law of attraction, basically, is probably a physical
Well,
thing. You know,
but they coincidentally just happen to be a thought, or
right? Because but now sometimes guys will date the same type of woman. You know, some guys will date the woman that wear the short dresses.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So that's a mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a
That's-
negative mindset.
That's a mindset.
Yeah.
So that's why. So if you're a guy and you continue to date a girl that's dressed a certain way, that's your mindset as a guy.
Right.
And if she comes with a certain attitude that matches the way that she dresses, then you can't be upset with what you get from her.
That's right.
Because of your mindset and what you are attracted to.
Right.
So you're technically, that guy is actually the problem, because you keep ushering in this type of energy
Right.
in your life.
And he's the one that's saying, "Why am I here with her?"
Yeah, okay. Now,
Okay.
Comedian 96, you want to speak to that?
So I'm gonna equate this, and this is the analogy that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use, everybody here love Lay's potato chips, the plain ones. I like the Lay's in the yellow bag. That's the Lay's potato chips. Imagine the big bag. You know they got the big family size bag, right?
Okay.
When you first open them, we all attracted to the bag. Even when you first open them, smell, all look good at the top, right?
Okay.
You take out the big chips, they be big chip, nice, crispy. But then you get to the bottom, in the middle, you start running into a little black chip. Now you know damn well you eat that black chip on a little burnt chip from that damn lady, you be like, fuck, right? Imagine we gonna use it as a relationship. You'll let that pass. You ain't gonna stop eating them Lays because you ran into that one black chip. It's when you get to the bottom and you start to see. You start to see the real what's going on. How many black chips and dirty chips that's down there. You don't see the good stuff at the top. All the stuff you need to see is when you get in the middle of that relationship where it's too late.
I like that little black chip, bro.
You love that little black dirty.
I ain't say I love it. I like it.
Okay, so what do you say about men, women, or transgenders? I don't want to leave them out. That never learn from their past, meaning that they keep dating the same person, type of person, over and over and over. So you dated this person, you didn't like them, you complain about them, they do this and they do that, and then you go and find someone that's doing the same stuff, and you keep going over and over and over and over. What do you say about those people?
I think those are the people that really truly don't want to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have it their way. You know, that's what I get from that, because if you the type of person, and it's a mind frame thing again, because if your mind frame is set on, I'm dating to be in a relationship, or not, you know, I'm dating to be dating, because you have women that date multiple guys.
Okay, so I get it. You say that those are the people that don't want to settle down. What do you say to the women who've been married 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. They want to settle down. They just keep dating. They keep marrying the same type
now
guy.
at that, I question them at that point because it's her mindset.
It's how she's picking.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
It's how she's picking.
So I get it, Comedian 96. So have you guys ever heard of experience is the best teacher?
Yeah.
You ever heard that before? Now, how often do you really learn from your mistakes? I mean, really, how often do you do it? Because here's the thing. No, if you're unsuccessful today, it doesn't mean you can't never be successful, but you need to stop repeating the same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah, in a relationship, I agree with that.
I agree too. You saying, do we really learn from our mistakes? I mean, again, how do you expect to grow if you're not?
Okay. So, with that being said, let me ask you guys. Oftentimes, do you think that men act less than they actually deserve? If I need to elaborate, I will. Meaning that you know, I like her, but I can't get her because I don't deserve her. So you act less than what you deserve.
I mean,
And the same will go to women. Act less than what they actually
I think
deserve.
there are people out there like that. I think there's a name for them, shallow type of people. I think would that would fit their description. And yes, on both sides, men and women.
Okay. So, do y'all agree that every man wants a good woman?
Yeah, I can
Of
agree
course.
with
Do y'all agree that every woman wants a good man?
that. I agree with that.
No, I don't.
Okay, speak to that.
I just feel that, just like Slash said earlier, you know, you got guys that want those girls or women that wear the short dresses. Not saying that these
Right,
are bad
right,
people,
right.
but basically you have guys that want that bad girl, just like you have girls or women that want that thug, the dude that lived that thug life. And I don't think that's a good thing morally. Anyway, you know, what are you doing good if you live in these type of lives is what I'm getting at, you know. So I don't feel that every guy does want a good girl. You do have people that won't.
Okay, I can get that, but I'm gonna give you a little pushback. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This applies for the guy and the girl. He or she is good looking. He or she has a nice body.
Mm-hmm.
He or she is making 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is one guy, the guy is a thug, and his comparison is a 6-figure attorney. Who do that woman choose to build a life with, in your opinion? The thug that got the same thing as the 6-figure attorney, or the 6-figure attorney? She got to settle down and build a life with, have kids.
It's up to that female. I mean, I think
It's just your opinion. It's just an opinion.
I think Shanae go choose a thug, and Olivia's go choose the lawyer, the attorney.
Okay, so that means that, again, we go back to the law of attraction in regards to Shanae's mindset. And so whatever her mindset is, that's who she's going to go with.
Yeah.
And vice versa for the dude.
Right.
Okay. So when I mentioned that sometimes people act less than what they're deserving, and you gave that example, K Money. So let me give you an example, a different way of looking at it from a job standpoint, right? So, first of all, do y'all believe, well, not believe, have you heard that marriage is a job? Being in a relationship is a job. You've heard that statement before. I'm not saying that you actually have to believe it, but you've heard that statement before, right? So I want to say, give you something to think about from a job aspect. Not so much if it's relating to marriage, but just a regular job, right? So, for instance, some people believe that they deserve better pay, more pay. On their job, they believe, hey, I need to be making more money.
Right. Most people.
Yeah. But how many of those people are actually doing something to prove that they deserve more money? So if you want to get what you deserve, you need to start acting like you deserve it. Sometimes we don't act like we deserve more. We don't act like it. So if you got a job and you know, hey, I deserve more money, but you doing half-ass work, you ain't acting like you deserve more money because you giving half-ass work. So sometimes there may be some good women out there, there may be some good men out there, but if you act in a certain way and if you're being a certain way, you're not going to get what you're actually deserving of. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, man, I'm going to come to a close here, man, and I want to share this and leave you guys with this here. Now, try swallowing this pill. Everything you attract on the outside is a reflection of who you are on the inside. This concludes another dope episode. Tune in tomorrow for Think Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.